Welcome to another episode of Soul Talk, where we talk to the community about Star Citizen. We thought we were alone. We believed the universe was ours, until one night in 2946 on Vega they struck. Now we are at war. We fight when called, in space, on land, and at sea. To lose this war means more than defeat. To surrender is to never to go home. All of us must rise to the call, above and beyond.
You know, I wish when you do those quotes, you'd give us a heads up, because I kind of think you just lose your mind for a second, and I never know that you're like setting this up for something.
Look, you know me. There is a fair chance I have lost my mind.
So the question is, where did that quote come from, right?
And the hint is the last three words.
Oh, space above and beyond.
There you go.
Okay, all right. I was paying attention. That's great.
This time.
Okay. This time. Last time I was like, okay, what? Okay. How are you, buddy?
All right. So how's your week been?
It's been very busy. It's been very, very busy. But as always, I look forward to hanging out, with the community and hanging out with you. So yeah, I'm okay. I'll get energized. Just give me a couple of minutes.
Yeah,
you doing okay?
I'm doing great.
You're doing real good. You're doing real good. So let me tell the story, okay?
Go ahead.
I'll tell the story. Okay, so yesterday, Fast Cart and I were invited to be on Yacht Club because we were going to be doing some plugging for the upcoming Bar Citizen. And so we were having a real good show last night. And toward the end of the show, STL Youngblood popped up and decided that he was going to donate a Crusader M2 to the Yacht Club for a giveaway. So at first everybody was like, well, is he saying, he's going to put the money up or sit or what? And anyway, to make a long story short, he says, no, I'm going to donate it. So of course people got excited, and anyway, they put it up for the raffle. And lo and behold, guess who won a Crusader M2? And it's not me. So
Dark Knight, he won, right?
It wasn't Dark Knight. No, it was the person.
Jay won.
It was the person who actually doesn't care about getting an M2. But
no, that's not true.
Well, okay. Let's say you weren't thinking about buying one. I'll put it that way, maybe.
Yeah, I wasn't thinking about buying one, but I do have a C2 CCU from a whole D to C2. And I bought it with the Wellbond from Invictus, because it would have been 360 instead of 400.
Okay.
So I was thinking about getting a Star Lifter, just not the M2. I was thinking about the cheapest one.
The C2. Don't say the cheapest. Just say the cargo variant. Don't say the cheapest.
I'm being real here. I'm just
just saying, you make it sound like Crusader ships. There's a cheap version of it. That's all I'm saying, But
the least expensive. How about that? Is that
there
better?
We go. Okay, okay, there you go. Yeah. There
least
you go.
Expensive.
I like that.
I didn't mean cheap. You're
going to get the Crusader people upset calling their ships cheap. Yeah, that's all. So.
It's like calling the 300i the cheapest 300 series. It's true.
Yeah. Well, yeah. I think inexpensive. No, let's say modestly priced. How's that? We'll go that way with it. But no, congratulations, dude. It was great. I know sometimes you enter stuff and you never really think about, ooh, I'm going to win. You just do it, and then next thing you know, boom. It's nice. That was a nice package.
And I'm tempted to show the clip, but you can tell, the difference between me on a stream and me talking every day, there's not much difference. You can tell I was shocked and I lost all my cool.
Yeah, no, you weren't thinking about winning. Yeah, I get it.
I was like, is this real? No, not only that, there were 150 people in viewers, so I was like, I had no chance. And then, I have better Twitch TV, so my name came up in red. I'm like, I was like, is that real? Is that a test one?
Yeah, very cool, man. Congratulations. Fly it well.
Thank you.
It's very, very cool.
So now, it helped me out my fleet because it's a cargo ship. And now I don't have to worry about the Torres because it holds more than the Torres and both medium, so I can take it through the same wormhole.
Very true. Very true. It's a great ship.
And this one has more hull, more armor. I'm looking forward to it.
I can't wait till you take it out. We have to have a party on it. You'll have to invite everybody, and we'll all jump on board your M2.
Probably when 314 goes live. I'm thinking about
let's take it out for a test run. Yeah, that'd be cool. Yeah, awesome.
You want to bring people down?
Yeah, I can start bringing some folks down. We've got some of the Soul Citizens streaming team up there, and we've got some guests too. So let me bring them down. You Soul Team people, y'all can just come on down here. I'm too lazy tonight. Come on down. I'm just messing with them. That's all.
Oh yeah, DK said he'd be right back.
All right, so we've got tonight. We've got Admiral Kusanagi. We've got Fist to Face. We've got Pops in Space, and let's see. And we have a part of the Soul Team tonight. We've got a good group here. We got Jade, and we got Dark Knight, and we've got Gomab. Hi, everybody.
Hey, everybody.
What's up?
How are you?
Hello.
Oh, DK, you're back. What's up?
Yeah, I'm going to just mute for just a second. I'll be right back.
Oh, just one more thing, and then we can move on. I just want to say there was a moment when I had to decide whether or not I was going to say re-roll or take the step for myself. And you know, I had on one show that had Fist to Face with his avatar saying, "Oh, go ahead and take the step. It's fine." Then I had it on the other show to say, Pop Face with his avatar saying, "You better accept that step. Don't play. That's a $520 step. You better take it." So I listened to both devils on my shoulder.
Oh man!
Wow, you did not. Did you hear what he called us?
Called y'all devils. Heathens, y'all devils. Wow.
There's no question as to what I would have done.
Yeah, Mr. Endeavor, we won't even start talking. So you just need to go on back and be quiet.
Still think you added me to the cast, so I couldn't win anymore.
That's right, Jade. Yeah, Jade was the one cleaning up around here.
Yeah.
Jade had the magic touch, the Las Vegas touch when it came to raffles with us. So.
All right, so on the stream now, I have the sneak peek from last week, from Friday. It says, start the engine, watch me take off. It looked like an Origin ship to me.
Yes.
But it's a sneak peek of the fact that the chat is like below the screen and you can't see it on the ultra wide monitors.
You're at a slight deficit on this one. Yeah, I'm going to be honest with you. The way the thruster looks, it reminds me of Origin, but because the Ares are right around the corner, I started thinking Ares. But I need to look at Crusader ships thrusters a little bit better to see what they look like on the MSR or something. Because Jade, I was heartbroken when I started thinking that way.
Right?
Origins, though.
Yeah.
Oh, you mean going to the gold standard?
Well, no, it's not that. They've been rumoring, and I know this is a dead rumor. I don't want to keep kicking this dead horse, but they have been rumoring about that. Yeah. And so, 6 of one, half dozen of the other,
Yeah.
I don't know, chat. What do you guys think? Chat, this Urban Nerd's putting it down already.
Yeah, I'm gonna ask, and CIG is getting wise to our thing, because they said in the file name Cloud Imperium Games Star Citizen redacted, because normally they put in the URL or the file name what it is, so they got wise to that. So Kusanagi, what do you think this is?
Can you hear me, first of all?
Yep, we can hear you. You're a little soft, but we can hear you.
Okay. I have to do my ASMR. I hope it's the 400i. The thrusters look a little bit different from, like, say, the 600 series. But I mean, I'm not a big Origin person. I do have the 85X, but I would be open to getting this ship if it is a 400.
Okay. Uber Nerd says it's a futuristic barbecue. That's an interesting prospect. Interesting prospect.
Yeah, what are you grilling? Now I'm hungry.
If you're cooking really big hot dogs, sure.
Face to face, what do you think this is?
I do think it does have an Origin look to it. So I'm gonna have to
pass the white paint.
Yeah. But not just only the white paint though, man, but those engines. I mean, they look, reminiscent of 890. They do.
Didn't
600.
correct me if I'm wrong. Didn't they say the 400 series is non-existent? That was just a joke for April
That's
Fool.
That's what they said.
I really
You
can't
don't
tell
believe
you.
them?
I just know there's more
Well,
of them.
you know, I mean, here's the deal. I mean, when we watch the video that's coming up later, Lando infers for the particular manufacturer that there are other ships coming later beyond the ones we know about. So, you know, currently Origin does have room for something that lands between a 300 and a 600. Whether it's a 400 or not doesn't mean anything, but I'm just saying there is room for a ship to come in at that state. So, you know, possibility, right? But then again, maybe not. Maybe they say there's no 400 because it was called the 500. You know, I don't know. But
It
we'll
looks like a
see.
500. No, I'm serious. Like those
Yeah.
leaked images to me look more like something that would be just below the 600.
600.
And a 400 would be like, you know, something
just above
between
the
that
300?
and the 300. Sorry, I didn't mean to jump in.
No, you're fine. You're fine.
I'm agreeing with Griff. Origin fans. Yeah.
Yeah.
No, I was saying you were saying it just below the 600. I was saying the 400 looked like it'd be something just above the 300 then.
Yeah, I was thinking a 400 would be like sort of like, you know, that shuttle we have at Crusader? It would be really cool to have an Origin like shuttle for the 890 that carry the whole like party on it, and that would be like a 400 variant.
Yeah, I've always
the
wished.
whole bay.
Go ahead, Admiral. What were you saying?
No, exactly. To use the whole bay, like to fill up the entire bay.
Yeah.
Yeah, I've always kind of wanted something that operated more like a ship tender, like Jade was saying, for the 890. You know, even though they give you the 85X, it's a two-seater. But my thing is, if you've got guests coming on, it would be nice to have something that accommodated like 8 people, that you could shuttle people from a surface up to an 890, and that would be kind of cool. But, you know, that's what it is. By the way, we have a guest today, Kai. And I'm happy to see this. Kai Zen is hanging out with us tonight. How are you, Kai?
Hey,
Hello. I am fantastic. I gotta say, I am fairly new to the Soul Citizen family of listeners and watchers, but I am devouring your content at a prodigious rate. I'm going back and listening to episode after episode. I'm an armed courier for like my real job. And I end up being sort of alone in a vehicle for long trips, 10-hour, 15-hour trips sometimes. And so I can just play episode after episode after episode. And I really dig your show and your content. I love the stuff that you guys do. So,
well, Kai, dude, we really appreciate it. Don't consume too much of us because it'll fry your brain. So just take us in small doses.
Especially me.
Let me share with you guys who Kai is, because first of all, I'm excited that Kai is here, and there's somebody else here. Yeah, I was going to say there's somebody else here who's really excited that you're here.
I am glad you came and joined us.
Yeah, Kai does one of the most prominent is a prominent content creator for Elite Dangerous, and we all play Elite Dangerous. We love it, and we've been following Elite Week for weeks now. And I just was totally impressed, and I've been sharing with people, people like Katie and other people who he's had on his show to give commentary about what's happening with Elite Dangerous right now. And he's just a fun guy to listen to. He creates a platform for their community to share. And every week I'm tuning into him. So we're really excited to have him just come on board and hang out with us. And again, dude, just happy to have you here with us. And I knew Dark Knight was happy. Dark Knight's he's our elite defender with our group.
Yeah. So. Well, see, I've been watching you guys for a while. I already knew about Will and Kate, and Kai. I've known you from watched you guys in podcasts and radio shows and stuff like that. And so it's just like when I saw you guys going over to starting to really play, and Kate when she first went in. And you were doing No Man's Sky, and she was going into that, and I was just like, she was like blown away, and I'm like, see?
Oh yeah,
all it takes is one step.
I twisted. So you have me to blame for both Katie and why am I blanking? Black Maze.
Black Maze, yeah.
Both of those guys, I was like, look, you gotta try it. Nah, I don't want it. You gotta try it. Damn, you gotta try it. And then like, and Katie and I were just talking today. She was like, she's like, you got me into this. And she's like, I've just dove in, and so literally, Katie wanted to sign up for the Daymar Rally, but it's booked. So they said, screw it. They're starting their own Daymar 2 rally. And I was like, okay, I'll reach out to Black Maze, because he's the guy that runs all of the elite race community SRV races, which is basically sort of similar to the Daymar rally. So yeah, we're gonna fire up a second. We're doing our own Daymar rally, whatever, and next year I'm sure they'll sign up for the main one because they'll be in on time. But
right.
Listen, we'll put you guys in touch with Jade. Jade can definitely speak
Yeah,
with Jade.
I was gonna say,
Talk with Jade.
yeah, if you can get in early, but I will talk with Corsair, who like runs the Daymar rally, and if anybody jumps out, because sometimes people can't, I'm gonna see if, like, he can maybe put you on like a contingency list or something.
And connect with Jade anyway, because there's another event called the Stanton 7 that started as well. Yes. So there's other stuff too that you might want to take a look at. It's a different format, but it's very
Buckyball.
Cool.
Yeah, if you're into racing, hit up me or Love Machine.
There you
Especially
go.
Love Machine.
Yep, beautiful. I wanted to call out one specific episode you did, and I'm sorry, I know I'm
it's okay. Go ahead.
Monopolizing your time, but I want to call out one specific episode you guys did. The one that you had DK and Dig That. First off, love Dig That. Dig That's got the greatest voice in all of the
We know.
Yeah. I got to get him to do. It's been a while since I talked to him. I got to get him to do an intro for me where he's like, "Hey, what up, commanders, citizens, whatever," for the show. But the show that you guys did a little while back, where it was not so much comparing, but like talking about Elite and Star Citizen as two projects, and you pulled the stuff, the Gary Weta interviews, and you pulled a bunch of different things that you talked about. I gotta say, I do our show drunk every Friday night, and we all just kind of we speak as openly and frankly, and in some cases too frank on my part probably, but there's a thing that elite dangerous commanders have right now where there's some, let's say, displeasure with some of the decisions that were made with regard to the development process with Odyssey. And I will defend to the death every elite dangerous player's right to have their opinion on the project, whether it's you love it or you hate it or you're so angry or you're so whatever. But it rankles me when people from the outside, if a Star Citizen or a No Man's Sky or a X4 or anything else, Star Trek Online player comes in and kind of takes a dump on Elite. That's like, I can smack my little brother around, but if anybody else does, you're coming at the family. I'm coming at your neck. But the way that you guys handled it, and I know that you guys several of you are elite players as well. The way that you guys handled it was very, very classy, and I really appreciated your takes on okay, Elite doesn't have this and Star Citizen does, but oh look, Elite does have this, or I like the way they're choosing to do that, or whatever. Between the two projects, I've played them both. I'm not new to Star Citizen. I started playing it I'm new compared to other people, but I started playing in 3.10, 3.11. And so I've played a little, and I've earned a whole bunch of ships, and I've had a lot of fun with it, and I really appreciated the way that you guys sort of went at that. So I just wanted to say a thank you to it, because it's internally, like I said, we bitch and moan all the time about our thing, but it's good to see people from the outside at least give it some respect. So yeah.
And we appreciate that. I think that it's twofold though. Many of us, even though we were following, and as you mentioned, the whole Braben and Chris Roberts interview showed that both these guys had a vision for creating games, and seeing that they had relationship and that they weren't competitive against each other. They were just taking two different paths to achieve a certain genre of gaming, which is why a lot of us bought in. I bought in on beta, for Elite. And like I said, we've got people in our group who've been playing it since beta, avid people who still play it. I jump in and out from time to time, but I think that it's very easy for everybody to get siloed right into what their thing is and kind of lose the idea that everybody wins if space genre games all do well.
Oh yeah.
And we've seen a lot of them over the last 10 years that have kind of come and gone. No Man's Sky, God bless their heart, with all the heat they caught and everything that happened with them, they stuck to it. And a lot of developers wouldn't have. There was a lot, and they're redeeming themselves by their work. I think what's unique with you guys, with Elite, is that, and I shared this on the show, I had no idea that because I wasn't that deep into Elite, I didn't realize that there had always been within your own community some discontent with the path of development, and because it mirrored us, because Star Citizens have the same thing, right? We've had our beefs over the past many years of development, questioning certain things, why aren't certain things fixed? They promised us this, and in a way, it wasn't like ooh, look, they're going through the same thing. It was more like oh my God, they're going through the same thing. And as much as we've enjoyed people in your community who've come on, especially you mentioned Black Maze, I've been following him, obviously Kate. In fact, I even post Kate's videos in our Discord, her path that she's been doing. But what you guys are bringing are veteran eyes to space games to ours, and making your comparison is not in any way negative toward Elite or over crazy about Star Citizen, as much as it is that you're able to, for those of us who've been around for 8 years, sometimes you're too close to the project. You know what I'm saying? And when somebody who isn't as close comes in and they observe it, and then when you hear, like in Katie's first video, and I've said this before, she was so blown away with carrying a box. And putting it on a bed. And for us, we don't even think about it anymore. We rage about all this other stuff and forget that something like that is significant in game mechanics. And because we've gotten used to it, to hear her enthusiasm, and her enthusiasm isn't because she's just some novice gamer. I mean, she's been playing games. She knows what she's talking about. So it re-excited things for us to see, like, wow, there's other people who understand space genre and they're appreciating this. And at the same time, we're very sympathetic. When I listened to your show and I was listening to the people who, I think you did the show on interiors. And I was amazed to hear some of the responses that people were giving you guys, even the devs, about whether interiors were important. And I'm like, your community was calling for that. And David had talked about it. And then when you guys came in ours and saw it and came back and said, yeah, dude, trust me, we want it. We don't care about that 30-second walk. We want that. We've invested in these ships. We understand that feeling. We really do.
It goes right back to the old the Blizzard BlizzCon or whatever, where the guy went on stage and goes, yeah, you think you want classic WoW, but you really don't. And then the following year, when they put it out, the numbers showed, oh no, they really did. Like,
exactly.
Yeah. And
Exactly.
in fairness, I should say, because I complimented you guys for being classy in talking about Elite. I have to call out a glaring sort of sin that has been committed. For the longest time, it has been fairly well promoted within the Elite community to look at Star Citizen as, oh, that's scam, that's a joke, that's vaporware, that'll never happen, that'll this, that'll that. There is a very dark and uncharitable sentiment that is sort of fostered and cultivated within certain aspects of the Elite community. And that is, man, a thing that so many people do not know is how sad that is, because the fact of the matter is the Elite Dangerous Kickstarter got off to an incredible start, like really, really well, but then floundered. And when it floundered, I shit you not, Chris Roberts came out and publicly said, everyone needs to support this. This Kickstarter is like, it hit the hump. It's having a hard time. You need to support this because the industry needs multiple games. If it weren't for Chris Roberts coming out and publicly calling on his people to back Elite, maybe Elite would have made it. Maybe it would. I don't like. We can't ever know.
Right.
But
Right.
that was such a classy and cool thing for him to do, and such a very such a very charitable thing that the Star Citizen community did for Elite. So yeah, then after that, Elite got off to a really great start. It took a very different path than Star Citizen. They're providing two very different experiences, and they were able to, through some interesting and clever shortcuts, able to sort of get out to market earlier and provide a different experience, but a valuable experience nonetheless. And then after that, I think a very, like I said, a dark thing happened where a lot of people looked at Star Citizen as a scam. And after Odyssey dropped, and a lot of people started looking around for, like, hey, I need an alternative. I need something else right now. I really think that was the first time. There were a few of us, but we had to sort of be closeted Star Citizen fans where we were playing and we would talk about it. But if you were to openly say it on the forums or anywhere else, you would just get shunned in a weird way. And I think that, if anything, the one good thing that would come from the Odyssey sort of troubles is that it gave a lot of people the impetus to just look around for themselves and see the truth about Star Citizen or No Man's Sky or other projects that really have a lot of cool things going for themselves.
Yeah, I mean,
I just want to say, one thing. It's like when you talked about our past episode, talking about comparing and contrasting Elite with Star Citizen. It made me feel good to hear that, because I think Griff would probably disagree with me, but I think our new slogan should be fair and balanced. What do you think, Griff?
Yeah. Thank you, Jade. I'm glad you did it, and I didn't have to do it.
Educate myself.
Yeah. No, I mean, Kai, again, our sentiment has been that because we've gone through what you guys are going through. I just didn't realize that you all have been going through it for so long. I didn't realize that Odyssey was more of a straw that broke the camel's back, more than, you know what I mean, the whole thing. And once I started learning and talking to DK, he was telling me, he's like, Griff, no, there have been other things. This isn't the first promise broken. This isn't this isn't that. And I remember one of your shows I was listening to, and you were talking about Disco reaching out to you and communicating with you. And I didn't. Yeah, but I mean, I honestly had no clue. Let's just say this, where you all maybe had assumptions about the status of Star Citizen and whether it was going to ever develop. I mean, and even though there may be, the Elite community may have been feeling that way, we also know that was being fueled by both people who were in this community, right? The disenchanted, the refunders, a lot of other folks, right, helped propagate that. And then, of course, there was a lot of within the industry magazines questioning, is it a scam? Will it happen? But then at the same time, on our end, again, I had naivete and just assumed that things in the Elite world were probably okay. I was a little disappointed when the DLC stuff came out, and I was like,
boy,
man, the more I got into it, and over the last month or so, and hearing the things that you guys were sharing, then I became much more, I don't want to say sympathetic, but aware, and saying that these guys are going through some of the same, just a different game, but they're going through some of the same things that people in our community have been struggling with. But I will say this, and you guys have acknowledged this, and I know you've acknowledged it multiple times, when you've talked about the relationship between the company, the community directors, and the players, that's been the thing that you guys have admired. And I didn't realize when I saw when your roadmap came up, I almost cried. I really did, because our people have been beefing. We get shows every week. I mean, we did a show just recently about how many shows we've done over the past 9 years, how much footage there is. And when I thought that, and I just assumed you guys were having that same level of communication. And when I saw the roadmap and I said 2 paragraphs, really 3 paragraphs. And I'm like, now I see why they're wondering. I get it. So we're wishing the best for you guys. And I'm hoping, and I'm pretty sure they're going to get it together. They have to, because it's critical. That game is the granddaddy of all that they're doing. And if they neglect it, that's just not going to be a good thing. That's a huge community of people who've been following Elite for decades. You know,
like I said, if one good thing comes from the troubles that Elite is temporarily in right now, and I agree with you, I believe will pull it out to some extent. I think that there has been a very healthy cross-pollination of Elite Dangerous Commanders coming to Star Citizen and seeing the truth now, not the lie of the very facile. Because I mean, you know, Kotaku and whatever. It's like, okay, all right, yeah. Everybody with their slanted, because it's like it's fun. It's fun to take a hit at the biggest target, and there's no doubt that Star Citizen is the biggest target. But the fact of the matter is like, oh, it's a scam because he promised a game that was supposed to be out in 2014 or 2015 or 2016, and it's like, yeah, he promised a game originally with a Kickstarter, and the game that they promised was, like, to give you an example, like, hey man, we're going to build you a 2-bedroom house. We're going to build you a nice little house. And then the money that he got in for that Kickstarter was like enough to build a city. So it's like, if he would have just built the house, if he would have just built the little facile, okay, here's a 1-player game, here is Wing Commander for 2020 or 2016, that would have been a scam, because he would have pocketed millions and hundreds of millions of dollars and put out a project that was, you know, a $20 million project. But no, instead, he literally, and I've seen the stuff where they went out and they said, hey, here's to our backers. Here's a thing. You vote. You tell us. Do you want us to expand the scope, or do you want us to stay with the original whatever? And people said, they voted massively, overwhelmingly, yes, expand the scope. We want this. We want that. We're giving you the money. Give us the stuff.
And this was actually before my time. If someone could find that poll and show me the results, because was it like 70-30 or 80-20, or did anyone?
It was a lot.
I don't remember. It was like I saw it just the other day, and it was like, I think it was like 86 to like, it was like 86 to 13, 14, whatever. 14. It was crazy. So it was like,
thank you, Uber Nerd. 88 to 12.
There you go. There you go. So, but I mean, it's like it's like, yeah, okay, so it's fun to make a hit piece at whatever. But back to the point, I think the cross-pollination right now of Elite people seeing Star Citizen for the amazing project that it is and can be, and then also this influx of Elite players, I think, is people are going, who are these Elite guys, Star Citizen people? And like, if anything, if what we see, because like, here's the thing. You need a $3,000 computer to run this well. You need, you know, I spent over $2,000 on twin Virpil Constellation Alpha with the Warbird base. They're both mounted with Monster Tech on my chair. I've got 2 Stream Decks dual mounted on either side. Like, if you spend $3,000 on a computer and $2,500 on mounting Virpils and another $600 on Stream Decks and this and that, if you spend all of this and then bulk at the last $45 because you don't want to try Star Citizen, or the last $7 when Elite Horizons is on sale, like, that is the worst kind of tribalism. Why not enjoy both, man?
Right.
I
love it.
Yeah, Kai, that was great, and we appreciate you sharing. We could go on and on, trust me, because I love to. Let's do it. But listen, can you hang around? Kai, can you hang around?
So, for sure, I'm going to hang around. I'm going to mute, because otherwise I'll just keep talking and take over your show. But I would very much like to extend an invite to both of you guys to come and guest and be on Black Sky Legion someday.
Cool. Okay.
Next weekend, next Friday if you want, or whenever is good for you.
Okay, that'd be great. Cool. Yeah, we'd love to do that. Thank you for the invitation. That's awesome. Yeah, stick around. Because we'd love to get some commentary from you from what you're going to see tonight. I don't know, you've been here for the Thursday show before, right?
Oh yeah.
Okay, cool. All right, yes, we get to get some stuff going in. Okay.
I have a question for both of you, if I can jump in there real quick.
Yeah, go ahead, man.
If you can hear me, I don't know if you can hear me.
You're good.
So the amount of people in each company are close to the same now. So it looks like Frontier's got about 600 people, and we know that CIG's got about 500 to 600 people now.
No, 750, brother. Went up.
Is it 750 now?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so that's another. Okay, so that goes along with what I'm saying. I'm not sure if the Frontier thing on Wikipedia is up to date, but it says 600, and we know that Star Citizen's making Squadron 42. I know they're trying to work at that. I think a little bit harder right now than they working the PU, but it looks like Frontier's got Jurassic World 2 coming out, and they've got a Formula 1 game coming out, and they've got Warhammer Age of Sigmar coming out. Like, is there like some concern that the studio is kind of making itself a little thin?
I'll let Kai answer that because he's already addressed your question. Go ahead, Kai. You fill him in because I heard him say it.
So yeah, at last count, according to the talk that Chris and Sandy did, they made a reference to that CIG currently has 762 employees, and in addition to that, I know they have like 4 or 5 studios that they've subcontracted that are doing work for them that they own a piece of. So it's not just a matter of like, hey, whatever. It's a situation if these guys pull another old school Star Marine or whatever where they screw around for a year, like, oh yeah, we own a piece of you. So that's whatever. But
right
on the elite side, Turbulent is killing it. They're doing awesome. But on the elite side, Frontier has, at last published count, according to their last year financial thing that was just published in like April, they have like 600 employees, but they also have many they're releasing 3 projects a year now. They, at best, at the high water mark of them doing all of this work for Odyssey, they had published an internal thing saying we have like over 100 people working on Elite. So that when you say, okay, they have roughly the same or similar amounts of employees, you're talking about one company that has less employees working on, divided among like 9 different projects, as opposed to CIG that has more employees and they're all focused on really one thing. I mean, you have Star Citizen, you have Squadron 42, you have Star Marine, you have whatever, but they're all under the umbrella. Like if you develop an asset for Squadron 42, it is also being used in Star Citizen.
Yep. Right. Yeah.
Wow. Okay, cool.
Absolutely.
All right, let's go ahead and jump into it. Fast Car, why don't you lead us down the narrow path today, or the wide path, wherever
Yeah, I
path
was
we're
going
going
to.
down.
I was going to do some Squadron 42 update, but I think we'll just jump into.
Yeah, let's because that'll be all night.
So here we go. I should be sharing the stream. Oh, by the way, we check. Calrati joined us. So hi, Calrati.
Hey, Calrati.
What's up, Calrati?
Calrati, are you an elite player too?
So I have Elite. I have played it a few times. I've even played the in VR. So I've enjoyed it a few times. But you could say an on and off kind of player.
Okay. Okay.
Yeah.
Cool.
Same with
Just been
me.
monitoring. Cool.
I do the same. Yeah, I do the same.
Excellent.
All
Excellent.
right, so here we go.
Calrati.
I'm here, back at the top of the show. Must be something different. Now, as Star Citizen continues down this road to Digital CitizenCon this year, longtime viewers may remember that Q3 is always just a little bit different in terms of video content, as lots of things are being prepared for presentations coming on October 9th. It means that we here at Inside Star Citizen get an opportunity to get creative and highlight some things that we think are pretty special, the people that bring the verse to life. Now we're going to take this chance to explore stories that perhaps you wouldn't normally see. In today's case, a look at how some of us got into the industry and how our jobs intersect with the traditional art, design, and programming roles that you're probably used to seeing. We're calling these types of segments origin stories, and we hope it'll help you better know the folks who bring Star Citizen and Squadron 42 to life. Enjoy.
Games are really important to me, just personally, professionally. I put a lot of myself into the work. What is interesting is that you realize that every game is a miracle. No 2 days look the same. It's a ton of meetings, removing blockers, highlighting risks, facilitating conversation, asking the dumb questions, basically being a therapist every day, all of that. Both of my parents are in tech. My mom's a project manager and my dad's a business analyst now. I initially wanted to be a professional horseback rider. Midway through university, I really picked back up gaming and thought, hey, they've got to have project managers for games. I didn't even realize producers were a thing. I ended up graduating university, administration degree. So found my way into project management, desperately throwing resumes into the industry, just trying to get someone to pick up the phone and give me a call and give me a shot. And started with PlayStation and then ended up coming to SIG about a year ago. Since I've been on the team, my proudest moment is the Nova tank. I got to produce that start to finish. I was the one getting to help the team with estimates all the way at the beginning to getting it out the door to players. It's really hard work, and that was a tremendous effort for Fleet Week by the team. Right now we're working on the Starfighter Ares, and there's 2 variants, the Ion and the Inferno. And what makes game dev such a challenge is a lot of the disciplines feed each other. You're constantly playtesting and finding the fun and saying, oh, well, that doesn't feel right. It doesn't feel cool enough. The player isn't going to enjoy that. We need to make changes. So working with our leads and our experts in sort of each discipline that has to touch a ship, how long do you think it's going to take you to do these things based on these list of things that we've identified? And then once we kind of have estimates, we go into kind of scheduling and when can we bring this thing home by? We've got some other things that we're not really allowed to talk about that we're working on, but the one I can talk about though is that we've just started the Vulture. We will look at how long it's going to take to build this thing. And so that comes in sort of the project management life cycle of defining what scope is. And that's figuring out what it means to build a ship and what it's all going to involve. Being in the right meetings so that you can say, hey, wait a minute, my team's doing this and we need to be involved over here, and have you had this conversation? And oh, by the way, have you thought of this thing? So you're highlighting risks, you're trying to establish strategies to make sure that they don't turn into issues. Once they do turn into issues, how do you deal with that and make sure everything stays rolling and comes out on time and within our quality metrics and makes the players happy, and be a soothsayer in that, you know, you're trying to find the things that are going to be problems before they turn into problems. So Vulture is in early white box stage with our lead artist and one of our lead designers jumping on it and working on it, and it's early, but it's coming. What is interesting being a game dev as well as a player is it's a miracle that we get anything done. And so the teams I'm running, from the other producers I'm interacting with, to the global initiatives that I'm trying to just make our game dev experience better for people who work here every day, to leading an ERG with some amazing other women, keeping people motivated around me to deliver the miracle every day is the best that I can do, and it's the best that I can hope for.
Production is an essential element throughout all game development. It's that incredibly flexible membrane between departments that helps shepherd each element from one stage to the next. It's populated by a tremendously committed cast of characters like Stephanie and many others, and it's dedicated to making all things possible, including the previously impossible. Now up next, would you believe it's another sprint report? 2 weeks.
All right. Let's stop right there and talk about it. We didn't get to Jade for the previous section, so let's start with Jade. What do you think of the show so far?
Yeah, I like that they did this. I know this will probably be somewhat an unpopular opinion, but I do like that they did this because we see a lot of the developers, we see a lot of the people who are in art. But we almost never see, I don't think we ever really seen a producer. I remember when Disco Lando was on the show, he mentioned that we don't see the producers. Well, now we've actually seen a producer and heard her story, how she got the CIG, And like he said at the end, there's like many roads that you can take to get to CIG. They don't all lay within coding.
Yeah, I heard that. I think PlayStation or Sony and CIG had the exchange program because they got Lisa Ohanian from CIG and we got this producer. I didn't hear her name. Didn't see her name pop up from PlayStation. So there must be something going on between the two.
Yeah, I don't know if there's something going on, or maybe that's just the nature of game, the game development industry. But yeah, I think Stephanie's story is interesting because, like I said, we never really hear from these people, but they're essential for the project to move forward.
And to your point, Jade, I think even more for me, I'm excited because we're hearing from the women more.
Yeah,
After we lost, what was the young lady's name who was the designer, the artist?
Sarah that designed the Mercury Star Runner.
Yeah, we haven't really heard from anybody since then, and so it's great to hear from somebody else from the community that's a woman, as far as I'm concerned. So it's very cool.
Absolutely, 100%.
So Kai, what are your thoughts? Unless he's muted, he might not be there.
No, I'm here. I'm just listening. Fantastic, super excited. Love, as Griff called out, like diversity of voices in gaming and whatnot is important, not just for diversity's sake. Like I'm not into all of that, but like it's important to get different people's views because it makes the product better. And when you have, kick-ass women or people of color or people of just different backgrounds, whether even if you're talking about not have anything to do with your race or sex or anything like that. If you talk about like a physicist versus somebody that has an astronomy background or somebody that has a programmer that brings a different voice of some kind to the table, it just strengthens the product. So I'm super psyched for all of this.
Cool. Shout out to the women when she said that she came up with the production over the Nova Tank, which was pretty cool.
That was awesome.
That was pretty cool. I said, I'm like, oh, okay,
Hell yeah, I like the look of the Vulture so far. I think that's coming along nicely. What do you think, Kalwadi?
So 2 things I want to point out in a positive aspect. So if you go back to one of the earlier videos where the guys from Montreal, who would have previously been from Ubisoft, you're hearing these trigger words, from what she said, miracle. You're hearing these trigger words. I think they said opportunity, privilege. And, you're starting to realize that I could be wrong. Hopefully I'm not, but you're starting to realize that the opportunities that CIG has presented with its project has something that is, a really good opportunity, right, for many persons, many developers, many individuals who have been trying to seek some kind of gateway or a jump from another experience when it comes to game development. And it's very, very refreshing to hear them. And I'm going to lead that into another point that I'm identifying, that I'm noticing, is that that feeling of humanization, right? Of humanizing the people that are creating these games. Because, for instance, for Star Citizen, Star Citizen in alpha, no matter what, right, it has been in alpha for a very long time. And the thing is, right, I say that because them bringing a lot of these persons, a lot of these quote unquote unsung heroes that contribute continuously to the development of this game, it really sheds light on the humanization aspect behind some of these people who work so hard to bring these patches to us amidst the frustration that some in the community may have. So, and of course, well, another point, and the final point that actually just came into my mind, them actually highlighting her background and how she came into the game, I think is going to really inspire a lot of other persons who aren't really sure about how to enter, right? Because the thing is, you heard her, you didn't really hear, and I'm not criticizing it, but you didn't really hear a lot of gaming background that you spoke about. And there would be a lot of persons who would think, okay, I never really got into, gaming or anything or game development. And they may be uncertain, okay, you have these really, really, really talented people who developed the CryEngine and who worked at these other great companies, and they're thinking, okay, maybe it doesn't really make any sense for me to apply to this company. When, truth be told, they can actually have some really good potential to adding a lot of value to this development. So I was really captured by how, the design and approach of that this video took to show her, her background, her approach. So that's what I have to say with regards to this segment of ISC. Really great work. Really inspiring work.
Say something real quick to what you said, Kelradi. Remember a couple of weeks ago we had the episode on visual effects, and we had the gentleman who said that he came from working at Industrial Light and Magic. And I think most people would think that once you've reached Industrial Light and Magic, you're at the pinnacle, right? I mean, that's like the best you could be doing. And not that he wasn't doing well, but he made a comparison. He said, when we get our work as artists at ILM, it's gone through these different processes, and by the time it gets to us, it's written in stone. So all we can do is what they have given us. But when I've come here, he had a creative valve that he could open up and contribute in a different way as an artist. And he was excited about being at CIG. He didn't look at the downgrade. He looked at it as like, oh man, this is great.
Exactly.
So to your point, whether you're a project manager, and I agree with you 100% when you say that people who may not thinking I'm not necessarily doing gaming, but she was able to bring project management skills and what she got from Sony. And she says she's a gamer, right? But like you said, she didn't mention anything about coding or anything. But guess what? She's contributing in a very big way, like you said, to the development of the game. That's a cool observation.
Yeah.
Can I make one real? Oh, go ahead.
I'll be because Jared was on Soul Citizen a couple of weeks ago, and he talked about he wants to humanize the developers, and that's something that's very important to him and the company itself. So, Kawadi, you hit the nail on the head with that. Go ahead, Kai.
Riff, you made the point that okay, this guy came over from ILM, and that's the pinnacle of the pinnacle. And with respect, I would make the point that, to me, Star Citizen, CIG, is the ILM of a whole new industry. The ILM, what ILM did for films, which unlocked it took the whole idea of VFX to the next level. Without, whether you like them or not, without the Star Wars prequels and the work that ILM and Lucasfilms did on those to create that tech, you would not have had Avatar. You would not have had all of these things that came after the Lord of the Rings and everything that were lauded as masterpieces. I think what CIG is doing right now in that very same way is driving the tech for what we will be talking about in the next decade or two of the video game industry.
Yeah. Good point.
Good point.
Fair, man.
Yeah.
Pop, do you have any thoughts?
It goes to what when we were at the Bar Citizen, and Disco asked me the question about what did he think his job was, and he's exactly right. He brings faces, people to, and we can get to step in and see what their lives are like. And it just goes to also to the clip you guys had, I believe it's just this last week, about their lives and what they go through from our criticisms and being bashed. And it does affect them. It affects them in a tremendous way because this is their job. So we're not only supporting a game, but we're supporting their lives.
Thank you. Kusanagi, you got any thoughts?
This woman potentially could be my favorite person ever because she's made she made the tank, and she's bringing my new ship, the Ion, into the game. I'm gonna just guess that she's making the Perseus, and then she'll be on top of my list. But I mean, this is just it's a great video to showcase people that really are in charge of the people that make stuff and how they're able to coordinate all the efforts into success, and that it isn't just someone that you would see from a stereotypical World of Warcraft, South Park episodes or something like that. I think this is a great little part that SIG put together here, and it's cool to see the amount of diversity that the company's taking in and using that skill to its full potential.
Hey, for our next Halloween special, Griffin, how about we make a South Park like cartoon? Or featuring Star Citizen. No, okay, never mind.
Oh
If we
god.
can make a cartoon of you, Fast Car, we should do that. We'll have someone make a cartoon of you.
It's already a cartoon.
Hey,
Yeah, I'm kind of a Cartman in real life, right?
There you go.
Oh, that was a long setup for that one, Fast.
Dark Knight, what do you thought?
He woke up last night and wrote that on a post-it note.
Oh my goodness. Well, first of all, I want to say that I think my subscriber money went to a very, very good video. Seeing I've worked in project management before at a software as a service company, and she's right. It could be hard. You're dealing with multiple people in different areas of the company, all working towards one project, and it gets to be difficult just trying to manage all of that. But seeing it from her background, and seeing that there's also a passion of gaming behind her interest in this, it sets me. It lets me know that they are very passionate. We talk about people that developers don't play their games. From what I see from Star Citizen, in front of the people, developers that we've talked to, I see them easily going home and sitting down and playing Star Citizen when they get home from work. Maybe it might be work for them, but also it could be something that they just do. I did that when I was working with my company. I'd go home and just play with the project just to see how it works. And get feedback test feedback that I would get from our clients. But the second part is just we're highlighting very special individuals who put hard work into what they do, and what we've seen here with Sarah is dedication. She loves this project. She loves what she's done. She's been giving this amazing opportunity, and she's run with it. And it's really feels good to see that coming from our developers. I think we see that all the time with oh goodness gracious, now I'm gonna lose his name, but he's on SCL all the time. But we see that all the time, huh?
Not Jay Lee.
No, it's not Jay Lee. It's not Jay Lee. He talks a lot. We all know who he is. It's Rich? No. I can't remember. Anyway, I don't want to go on too much longer, but I thought this was a very well put together video. I look forward to seeing more of these, and continuing. I would like to see this continue for the foreseeable future.
Cool.
Thank you. Face to face.
Yeah, I really enjoyed this one. Won't be too long-winded on this. Obviously coming from music, it's definitely I've learned over the years with music, it's patience. I've really grown to appreciate that in creating, and I understand, when you're putting your hard work into something, you want people to receive it well. And when I look at this video and you get to see, the people behind the scenes, like we talked about with Jared, how he brings these projects and puts life to them, puts people behind them, to really see it's not a like you say, you can put out a record and that record could just be there and people enjoy it, but you don't know what was put into that record. If I'm making sense to those out there, understand? Because
Yeah.
I've been watching a video. If you guys can never go get a chance to check it out, it's by Mix with the Masters. It's a video with a mix engineer by the name of Jason Joshua, and Dave Pensado, along with Timbaland. And to give a short story, they discussed about how they took a project, and Timbaland could have kept that project to himself, but he put people around this young kid, you know, to cultivate this artist and to really understand, because when he talked about how easily he could have been selfish about it in that production process, it really helped me to understand better about producing and collaborating with people. And looking at this video again, you know, it really kind of like, it warms your heart, if that makes sense, you know, because it helps you to really see, you know, that teamwork and that effort, that how much they really value, you know, this project. So, but that's my 2 cents.
No problem. All right, we're gonna skip Go Mad and go to Griffin. No, Go
No,
Mad.
go to Go Mad.
Man, look, yeah, don't need to worry about me. No, it's always good to get a peek behind the curtain, right? You know, we always have shows that show pretty, you know, graphics and, you know, lightning and fire and all that great stuff, but you know, it's always good to you know, peel the onion back and get a kind of a glimpse into how the sausage is made a little bit. So you know,
what's with all these metaphors?
They're only metaphors in your dirty ass mind.
Control yourself, please.
Hey, he's talking about onions and sausages. Don't you grill, Go Mad?
Yes, I'm a cook, man.
That's it.
Right, there you go.
Talking his language. Talking his language.
Hey, man.
All right.
You need to go to church.
I needed holy water.
Bless
you know,
your heart.
Gomab's down in the ATL, so come on, he gonna use some food references. That is no question on that.
All right.
True. But yeah, no, that's all I have to say about that.
Yeah.
There you go.
Yeah.
What do you thought, Griffin?
No, nothing. I mean, everybody's kind of said it. You know, just great to see another CIG face that we haven't seen before. Awesome about that. And you know, and one thing I will comment on, I'm sure everybody smiled about, was that we got some glimpses of some stuff, right? We got to see the Air Breeze. We got to see the Vulture, which is promising because we know those are coming up within the next couple patches. So I know those of you who own the Ares, the Inferno, and the Ion, you guys are probably geeked because you can see it's coming along, you know?
Excellent.
All right, so let's continue on with the rest of the show.
It's populated by a tremendously committed cast of characters like Stephanie and many others, and it's dedicated to making all things possible, including the previously impossible. Now up next, would you believe it's another sprint report? 2 weeks in a row, it must be the road to CitizenCon, so let's get started. First up, let's take an early look at progress on refueling currently in active development. Now the sprint here was for the EU-PU feature team to see if it was possible to build on work previously done by the EU vehicle tech team for docking, using that as a foundation to push the existing tech further. Now there was some minor skepticism before it was attempted, but everyone involved was thrilled to discover this early test working directly out of the box. It's an auspicious start and a wonderful example of the way one team's work is often used to support another's in game development. Now there's still a ways to go yet, but with the foundation already in place, we can expect development of this feature to continue unabated over the coming months. Next, let's switch on over to the vehicle experience and feature teams and their work prototyping a new system for bombing, necessary for several spacecraft, including the upcoming Hercules Starlifter A2. So where do you start when prototyping a new weapon system? Well, just like with refueling, you begin first with seeing what you can use from existing systems, and of course, that means taking missiles as they currently are, disabling the ignite feature, and voila, we have bombs. And because everything is systemic, this already allows for some creative use cases. As the best star pilot in the galaxy once said, "I'll try spinning, that's a good trick." Now, of course, nothing in game dev is ever just that simple, but it's a solid place to start as work continues developing an appropriate bomb operator mode that will allow pilots and gunners to place maybe a little more precision on their drops than what's seen here, as well as further developing smart features like limited guidance capabilities, as well as exploring other use cases throughout the persistent universe. The vehicle experience team is also working on intoxication effects when flying, which includes a delay in player input, penalties for input severity, meaning the harder you fight, the harder it gets to control, as well as a variable inserted at random just to make things interesting. Now what you're seeing here is without the double vision screen effect, but let's turn that on and whoa, that's a lot of Radagast gold. Maybe just a little too much. It still needs some balancing. Meanwhile, work continues on the Aegis Redeemer with this look at the gray box progress of the remote turret bay. Manned turrets. Habitation module. Armory.
Music.
Machine section. And a look at final art progress on the rear entranceway.
Big as that ship.
Alpha 314 brings with it the first iteration of Orison, but the work doesn't stop there, as these concepts for the upcoming Crusader showroom can attest. Now, the Crusader showroom is the crown jewel of Orison, your one-stop shop to learn all there is to know about Crusader ships of the past and present, and built so that new offerings can rotate in for the future. And someday, the Genesis Starliner is going to be in here, and you're really going to see Disco's favorite ship in action. Someday. Finally, before we let you go this week, a special treat. Let's jump way ahead and take a look at current work on the planets of the upcoming Nyx system, an unclaimed frontier whose highlight is often considered to be Delamar, the moon-sized asteroid longtime backers may remember as a temporary resident of the Stanton system. Now what you're seeing here are the height map paintings, a process we've showcased in depth on previous episodes of Star Citizen Live, but without an atmosphere, so that artists and directors can properly judge the colors being applied to various shapes. Now what's really exciting here is that through a new refinement of process, we can now avoid the paint-by-numbers rings that have plagued prior efforts when artists try to get exceptionally bold with contrast in terms of value and hue, and are instead now getting these beautiful gradients that move through the terrain, giving us the options of both soft transitions and hard edges where appropriate. So far, this new refinement to process has proven super promising, and the planets of the Nyx system are progressing in very interesting directions that have everyone working on them super excited by what's possible. Now, it'll be a while before we see Nyx in the persistent universe, but you can be certain we'll continue to follow along with its progress over the coming months. Just wow. You know, I've been doing this a long time, and just when you think you've seen everything from the planetary teams, they're wizards, Harry.
Dang.
So what did we learn this week? Well, we were reminded that production is an essential element in game development, as well as a rewarding career in the industry for those whose talents lie perhaps just outside the art, design, and programming realms. That new elements like refueling and bombing can get a healthy jumpstart in development when they build on the work of existing gameplay systems. And that there's no such thing as that's as good as it gets when it comes to our planet tech and the teams that work with it. Now, don't forget, we're on the road to Digital CitizenCon right now. It's coming up this October 9th, and there's a video contest that you can participate in. Check out the robertsspaceindustries.com website for more details. For Inside Star Citizen, I'm Jared Huckabee. We'll see you all next week.
Alrighty then, I'm going to go in reverse order this time. So, go Mab, what are your thoughts?
That was a very pretty planet.
Any other thoughts?
No, not really. It's a really nice planet, and I'm really, well, that and it's the Redeemer just in a good way, because the Vanguards are some of my favorite ships. It just really looked like a beefed up Vanguard in a lot of ways, especially like the back of it, the styling of it. So I mean, I I didn't buy it, but I'm interested in seeing it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, similar here. I didn't buy it, but I'm want to take a look at it. Fish Face, what are your thoughts?
Oh man, I am excited. I got two things. One, I'm excited about the Redeemer because Pops bought one, so I'm excited to be able to jump into that and see how those guns work. Number two is I'm really looking forward to refueling. Like I said, that was just one of my jobs in the game, and especially to be able to charge you double fast card, if you ever need some fuel, or anything out there in that verse.
He's gonna need it for that M2 now.
Yeah, there you
Probably.
go.
But I just want to say, when you get to Redeemer, let me know how the curling iron worked out for you. Okay.
Okay. All right. Appreciate that.
It's a flat iron, man. It's a flat iron.
Curling iron. Yeah. Curling iron.
As much hair as I got, you forgive me for not knowing the difference, okay?
Hot cone. Hot cone.
Hey, you still got more hair than I do. Okay?
They called it the hot cone?
Yeah, the flat iron.
Yeah, they used to call it hot
iron.
Yeah,
that was.
Dude,
They just
put that on the stove. Heat it up.
each side, and you're good.
We're getting into some cultural stuff right here on Soul
Get you
Citizen
a lot
Talk.
of neck burns and ear burns.
People don't know about this stuff. Dark Knight, what are your thoughts?
Oh man, okay. I love that refueling looked really cool, and I'm really interested to see how that works. It seems like I have a feeling they're going to use some of that docking tech that they put in to help with the refueling, and I really do just look forward to seeing that and going up to somebody's Starfare and getting some fuel in my 300i or 315p. But as far as the bombs, I thought that was awesome. That like Jared said, he's basically just turn off the igniter on the missiles and they become bombs. I thought that was really, really cool. And then I see like a bomb operator in an A2, or I think do they have bombs on the Redeemer as well?
No,
not the Redeemer.
No, okay.
It's all missiles.
It's all missiles. Okay, it might be a different ship I'm thinking of, but it would be, just having the bomb operator having the ability to target with the bombs as the ship is flying over. I think that'd be really, really, really cool. Gray boxes look great. White boxes look great. It's nice to see the Ares. Love that ship. I'm not getting one myself because I'm not a combat pilot, but I'll fly somebody else's if they let me have it. And otherwise, good sprint report. Really good sprint report.
Cool. Kusanagi, what are your thoughts?
I have to reiterate what he just said about the bombs. I'm really looking forward to that. I'm hoping to switch out the retaliators, and torps for maybe like a size 5 loadout, or maybe 4 for gravity bombs, or they slightly mentioned having the capability of being more than gravity bombs. So like the U.S. calls them JDAMs, so you can actually take a dumb bomb and turn it into a guided bomb. So that would be kind of really cool. And then I mean the planet tech looks amazing. That's all I can really say. I was hoping for a little bit of an updated for the fuel ship, but I guess not. It's okay. I'm good.
All right, Popping Face.
What everybody said from Planetary Tech, I am extremely looking forward to the Crusader tour that we're supposed to get that. And I'm just going to leave it on this about the bombs. Poor PO, because I can see people right now bombing PO from outer space with those bombers. And I'm leaving it at that.
How do you bomb Port O without gravity, pulling just without velocity?
Yeah, you fly low enough with velocity, yeah, and just come right over it and drop one out, and hopefully it'll hit the top or something.
And nobody's never going to be able to get off of there again.
It's the same space gravity that grabs those sparks that trail behind the ships when they get shot. Fast car, come on, man. It's diverse. It's got different physics.
Yeah, and it's that, it slows you down too when you're in decoupled every now and then.
Right.
All right. Karate, what are your thoughts? Oh, here go the planet again if people are looking.
Oh, right. So one thing that always gets me with reassurance is that aspect of reusability. I mean, we see it all the time, when they develop a certain mechanic, and then later on, if they're developing another feature or mechanic, they're able to use that which they previously used, and to hear them say that, okay, they were able to use some aspect of docking from ship to station or ship to ship for the refueling aspect, as well as the whole the utilization of the missile behavior without the thrust behind it, continues to give that sense of reassurance in a universe or a game that requires so much work, and that improving that aspect of reusability, it's so reassuring. And that's one of the two things that and this part of the video that really grabbed me. So yeah.
Okay, cool. Kai, you're looking forward to this stuff in Elite?
Oh yeah, in Elite and Star Citizen everywhere. So the three things I would say: number one, Disco Lando is worth his weight in gold for the way that he's able to. What did we learn this week? And sum up and frame the narrative of all of the updates of the week in a way that the company wants to sort of put out their message and their viewpoint. Number two, we are for sure gonna see an updated sitcom. We're gonna see the jump to Pyros this time, not just the one vista, the 2019, like, oh look, we jump in and you see this one postcard view and then jump out. We're gonna see them fly all around it, and their Steve Jobs, oh, and one more thing is gonna be the jump into Knicks. We're gonna see them both.
Oh yeah,
calling it. And lastly, for the refueling, for the planet tech, for the white box, for the gray box, for all of it, shut up and take my Alpha UEC.
Nice.
Griffin, correct me if I'm wrong, but when Jared was on the show a couple of weeks ago, he was mentioning how people were complaining about when he summed up the end of the show about this week. What did we learn this week? People were complaining about it.
Yeah, he made a reference to the fact of people having something to say about it. But again, I think that sometimes we take for granted what other people see as very admirable because we're used to certain things, or we have certain demands of things we'd rather they be talking about or doing. I think for this, I want to go back to something that Kelrati said, because Kelrati, to your point, the fact that they were able, a lot of times they've been spending all these years working on tools and tech, right? And we keep saying, well, where's the game mechanic? Where's this, that, and the other? But the fact that they were able to take that tech and modify it in a way so that now they don't have to develop something completely new from scratch, but they're able, for the bomb dropping and for the refueling, to use that technology that was for one thing and say, hey, maybe we can take the same thing and find a way to make it work for here. That saves development time.
Oh yeah.
And so the fact that they're that reflective of saying, what are the tools that we've created and how can we expand them, modify them to give us shorter inroads and times in development, is a very good thing to me. And I know they had talked about bombs coming, when the C2 and M2 came out, they had the commercial and we saw the bomb fall out. But the fact that we know that CIG has been saying that as best they can, when they release a ship, they don't want to just release a ship so it carries cargo, but they want it to come out and be able to do what it's been designated to do in game. So knowing that the A2 is around the corner, and also showing us that they're working on the bomb tech. That's great to me, because I don't need another ship just to fly around that doesn't do what it needs to do, you know. And I've got an A2 coming, so I'm looking forward to it. But the fact that they do that same thing with those who've had Starfarers for years, and yet refueling's not in the game. It's exciting to see that this stuff, based on the roadmap and based on what we're seeing today, that CIG is putting, some priority into getting that stuff done.
Yeah. Yep.
Yeah, I did not forget about you. I was just coming to Griffin because I wanted to specify or focus on the fact that people do complain about the end of the show when you're trying to sum up, and I don't see why people do that, because it helped me, because I'm old. My memory is not what it used to be. So to summarize each episode like that is very helpful, and I don't get why people are against that. But what are your thoughts about the rest of the show, Jade?
Well, I just want to iterate on something that Griff mentioned with regards to the bombs. That is why they spent time getting IFCS to work on missiles.
Yeah.
You see, all this time they spend on real physics and trajectories that are realistic. Now they don't have to spend a bunch of time developing bombs, because now they follow gravity. Now they respond in atmosphere. Now he even said, we'll have guided bombs, like smart bombs. And you wouldn't have been able to do that if you hadn't spent that time on IFCS. So they know what they're doing. People that doubt them, you may not know what they're doing when they're doing it, but they know what they're doing, right? They're looking ahead. So I just wanted to get that out of the way so I can spend the rest of my time just talking about the gorgeousness of the next system.
There she goes. We knew she was going there.
Yep.
Right?
The astrogeologist, we knew she's going to go there.
Everybody knows, Delamar, Delamar, it looks pretty barren. It's kind of moon-like. Well, it's because it's in lore, it's a planetoid. It's a dwarf planet, right? But the actual real planets, we're getting a glimpse at. And I'm not even sure if we're seeing more than one. Because we're not seeing their atmosphere. So this could all just be multiple biomes of just one planet, right? I'm just amazed at what they're doing with the planetary tech and seeing that they're still improving it. This is an improvement on the last iteration of it. And it's still, as far as I know, V4. So the visual breakup here is outstanding. I mean, you can even see at one point, you can see much deeper, it looks like much deeper canyons at one point. And this looks amazing. I'm just imagining Nyx 2 is kind of like Venus. It rains sulfuric acid. It's got a CO2 atmosphere. Just imagining this with a thick atmosphere. It's going to be scarier than Aberdeen, right? So yeah, I could go on about this all day, every day. I love the planetary tactic. Look at those shadows. Look at those ridges and those valleys.
You talk about the atmosphere. You call it thick. Is that with a 2 C's or the CK?
Okay, fast car.
And like I said, I don't want to overhype. I'm just going by the lore. Nyx 1 is a coreless planet. It's kind of just barren. It's probably not going to have much of an atmosphere. But Nyx 2 is going to have this thick, oppressive, scary atmosphere. And yeah, that's going to be an interesting place to visit, and maybe race on. Like I said, I said in chat, my mind is racing about the new planets in Nyx, and I hope to race on the new planets in Nyx in the not too distant future.
Yeah, my thoughts were on I could see things going wrong with the refueling. I mean, I know it's going to be automated and stuff like that, but people are going to get drunk. Something's going to go wrong, or maybe that ship is too damaged to work correctly. I can just see all kinds of problems with refueling. It looks cool here because this is a perfect one, but we'll see how it goes when in the actual game. As far as the intoxicating effects, you don't need those effects if you're just a test squad member, because they're always drunk.
This is true.
Do you guys remember when they had this alcohol item in the hangar?
Oh yeah, the
And
bars.
when
Oh yeah. Yeah, tell them,
Oh,
Karate,
man.
what used to happen because some people never got to operate the bar. Tell them what happened.
Yeah, so you would actually consume it, and all of a sudden, you have this faded, this blurry effect, as if you're intoxicated. And sometimes, if you were to go into the sim pod and go into Arena Commander, you're you're basically flying as if you're drunk. The same effect will actually transfer over into Arena Commander, and yeah, it was pretty amusing.
You could drink to the point where you passed out too.
Yeah,
That was the other
yeah.
thing. Yeah, so don't let it fool you.
Can you imagine? Can you imagine that it happening in game? Like you drink too much, your character passed out, you wake up, and all your gear's gone.
You're in some of the location.
Oh man, with a note. I ain't gonna tell you what that note says, but
Yeah, I gotta say, at least you're not gonna be up on blocks, right?
Yeah.
Well, it might be depending on what happened. Also, the Adrift Redeemer, I didn't realize. I mean, I didn't realize how big it is. It's quite sizable. So, yes, and I love that Jared mentioned that. What was that?
Looks to be about the size of a constellation.
It's just short of one because it's big. When they had it at the convention center, I was amazed to see how large it had grown because it was bigger than it was before in the hangar. So it is. It's a like you said, Gomab. It's kind of like a Vanguard on steroids, even more. It's big. The guns on it, on top and bottom, are huge. So.
And Jada will talk about next, so I'm not gonna mess with that. She spoke eloquently about that, but I think one thing that Jared mentioned was to talk about Crusader. He mentioned the Starliner. I think some people think that other people have forgotten about Starliner, and I'm one of the people who haven't. It's a beautiful ship, but at least the concept. I can't imagine what it's going to look like now with the new numbers and the new factoring and everything like that. It's probably going to be a lot bigger than what the concept ship was. So I'm looking forward to it. I'm not going to get one in game or buy one specifically, but it's a nice looking ship.
You can fly on mine.
Okay. All right.
I'll take you wherever you want to go, Fast Guy.
I'm just gonna be an airline pilot in the game, just making trips.
You're just gonna rig in the money, huh? Okay.
Yeah. Thank you for flying the Dark Night Skies.
Right. I would say, we're going to go over to Love Machines Endeavor. Be careful.
Botanicals. All right.
Botanical.
Edibles.
Can I throw in one last thing in there? Kai had mentioned about reusing assets and how things are being built for one game and then being added with another for Squadron 42 and Star Citizen. We see that with the planetary tech now, which we see here is that it's an iteration of what we've been getting, but it's enhanced. It's even more.
Yeah.
They've been pushing the boundaries, and we can thank the Montreal studio for what they are doing because this is absolutely amazing. And we can see that with the bombs, the reusing of tech for missiles. It's a reusing of assets, and that's where we are getting to that point where things are going to be coming in much faster than they were over the last 6-7 years.
Oh yeah.
Agreed.
I just want to add one thing on top of that. So he brought up the bombs. If you go to 446 in that video, you'll see that the Moab is in the A2 bay, and it has deployable fins similar to the right there. So that fin is like the SpaceX maneuvering fins. So that hinge will open up, and there's it surrounds it. There's there's three others there, and that's how I'm wondering how high up this thing can actually drop from. I'm wondering if you even have to be.
Yeah, great observation.
Yeah,
I'm wondering how if you even have to be in the atmosphere to like drop this thing out of there.
Guided bomb.
Fling it off of Everest onto Lorville.
Yeah, you could be just like 400 kilometers above something and just drop it.
Okay.
All right. So next up, we have a question. Let me bring that up.
Yeah, you know what? Let's show the videos first, and then
Show the video?
we can present the question. Yeah, we're going to show you guys 2 short videos, and then we've got a question to present you about gameplay in Star Citizen. So just check these 2 videos out. We'll run them back to back, and then we'll get you some feedback on it.
Okay. All right, here we go.
You're watching Stanton today. Here are tonight's headlines. Chairman's Club court case is wrapping up. Local criminal gang is preparing for something big. And our intern Russell is at Whammer's to sample their menu, celebrating the restaurant's 150-year anniversary. Good evening, I'm Oliver Zark. After a lengthy trial, the UEE and the Chairman's Club won the case against their former employees, Tigo Delvester and Joni Werner. Here's our reporter with the story.
It was back in 2948 that Delvester left his job as the marketing manager for the Chairman's Club. 6 months prior to his departure from the club, Delvester let his staff go while still logging thousands of new members each week using credentials provided by Werner, who at the time was working as a junior accountant at the Tax Collection Bureau. Working for commission, and since the rest of his team was gone, Delvester logged the new members as recruited by him alone. Upper management was pleased with his work until they started noticing their members were unresponsive. Over 6 months, and using fake Imperial information, Delvester and Werner inflated the club with fake memberships and received over 5 million UEC in commission. This sounds like a small case of fraud, and it would be if it wasn't for a Chairman's Club upper manager being found dead in an Oza bathroom in New Babbage right after having dinner with Delvester. Delvester and Werner quit their jobs and tried their best to hide, but they were found in a cave on Aberdeen here in Stanton. They will both be facing a 1-year sentence in a Klesher facility. For Stanton Today, I'm Mason Watts.
Crime does pay, but you always have to pay back. Now, let's talk about ships getting hijacked around Stanton. We've always had a big problem with pirates here, but as of late their style seems to have changed. Here's our reporter with the story.
An independent team of statistics students out of the Retor system has over the last 6 months discovered that the Ninetails have changed their criminal pattern. Rather than looting for resources, the criminal organization seems to have increased the number of ships they are hijacking and keeping for themselves. The change seems to indicate something big will happen soon, as the ships stolen by the Ninetails are mostly armored ex-military models. The team of students have notified authorities about the change in behavior, but they haven't heard anything back from any officials. As it stands now, time will tell if there's any reason to be extra cautious. For Stanton Today, I'm Aaron Harbour.
Stanton sure feels shaky right now, but carrying weapons from Bearing Applied Technology keeps you safe and alive. The mouth-watering fast food chain Whammer's is turning 150 years old in less than a month. And to celebrate, we sent out Russell, our intern, to sample their menu. Take a look.
I'm here at Whammer's restaurant in Cloudview Center, and, well, there aren't many people here right now, but that's good, as I'm gonna eat more burgers than I'd normally be comfortable with eating in public. I'm gonna skip the zesty whirls for this, though, and start with this veggie wham and continue down the table. Here we go. Okay, this is good. I usually don't go for the veggies, though. Do I need to eat the whole thing, though? Okay, then.
Milk is the rib.
All right, on to the chicken wham. It's got a hint of chicken, but it gets taken over by the sauce, so 3 stars.
Edible paper.
Are you sure? I won't be able to taste the last one. Okay, wham burger coming up. Let's go. Okay, you can tell there's 150 years of experience in this recipe. After 2 burgers, I still taste quality, so 5 stars. Oh no, don't tell me you saved the deluxe for last. All right. I can't. I'm sorry. This is too much. It's good. 4 stars. For Stand Today, I'm Russell Gaines. Excuse me.
What better way to celebrate Whammers than to eat their whole menu? Thanks, Russell, for at least trying, and it sounds like the classic Wham Burger is the winner. That's all we had today. I'm Oliver Zark, and you are wiser than yesterday. Good night.
Okay, we're gonna queue up the second video for you guys. Okay.
The future of Esperia's Tavan.
Coming soon on Spectrum and Mobiglass. Trapped in a tedious life of asteroid mining with her out-of-touch dad.
It's a dreams!
Oh my god.
Pearl itches to break free and chart her own path in the stars.
I can't do this forever, Dad.
But his debt to Argo Industries keep them in deep space, working to the bone.
I know.
This summer, an epic miniseries begins.
Hey, that's my girl.
About family
At least I have an old windbag to keep me company.
and danger.
Ship, Starfarer, not listed in the Interplanetary Ship Registry.
This may get interesting.
When they discover a derelict ship
Hull is blown to hell.
full of bodies. Available this summer on your Mobiglass or Holoscreen and system-wide on Spectrum Plus Prime.
Let's see that.
Oh, well done.
Who did they get the voice actor?
So, yes. So here's the
From the
question.
community.
Yeah, here's the question for you guys. Would you all like to see either CIG or CIG allow the community to produce shows that are like series? Like we saw the newscast, we saw the trailer for a movie. We've got all these monitors that are on ships and in stations. For example, when Xenothreat came out, they utilized them. When we hit the convention, they utilized them to tell us when the Idris was going to be docking or when the Javelin was docking. How would you feel about them taking community content like this and literally not just randomly finding stuff, but actually endorsing or promoting that, like Zeke, for example, who does these commercials, this newscast. What would you guys think about something like that?
So I need to take this one first.
Okay.
When I saw this first and second video, I was quite blown away, and I was actually wondering, is this question relate? Could this question be about them putting into the verse? And it really excited me about and made me wonder about how lucrative and how creative they can get the news profession can be to be. And then I started thinking about, okay, we have Quantum, where there may be certain events that may spark up across the verse. And if characters or if players can perhaps go to these dynamic events or these interesting cases where there's this this increase in pirate activity and record it and make their own machinima videos and perhaps using the news van, for example, if use and the news profession or whichever, and the server, I don't know how the magic is going to happen, but the server in some way can detect when you're capturing the footage in that area, right, in the object container or in that zone, and then you make an edit that that whole video around that, and using that information, you could actually submit it into the game, and then you get paid by viewership, both by players and AI. It actually made me really excited about that potential, and seeing first of all, and to answer that question, yes, I would definitely like to see CIG taking the footage that the community makes and integrating it into the game, because I think a lot of players will be looking forward not only to the creativity, but this could definitely help with raising some kind of awareness other than the generic, hey, you got a lot of pirate activity happening here in the chat or so. This can actually raise a lot of effective and profitable awareness of certain things happening in the game. And that being said, they could actually leave it to the community's efforts to do that, as opposed to creating, say, dynamic event alerts, right? Or even alerts for non-important things, but things that other players like traders and such may be concerned about, that they would be willing to subscribe to these news channels in the game. So, yeah.
You made it.
Oh, sorry. Can I throw in on this?
No. I'll talk with Griffin. Go ahead.
Oh, I'm sorry. There is in the elite community, and Kai can attest to this. There's there are quite a few community organized stations, I should say, news stations. In fact, Lave Radio, Distant Radio. that not only produce music but also give news relating to what's happening in the game, within the game lore itself. Galnet is an in-game news service that talks about what's happening in the galaxy itself. That is produced by by a lore team that writes this for the game, but it also pertains to what is happening in game. Also, that is player related. So a community goal might also affect what's happening in the Galnet articles. And then some of our radio stations, say Lave Radio, will take that and then it will become a story. What I see here is taking that to another level, bringing it into game, bringing community content into game. So something like this, what we see here on screen, I could easily see somebody with a herald out there taking photos of some kind of crash site, or somebody finding some item or something like that, and they just happen to be on the scene, and then reporting it through Mobiglass. And or having an in-game, I could sit my 600i in that little TV room and watch, the news. I think that's something that I could easily see CIG implementing, even if it's with some of their content along with community content, and creating lore along with it. So it just continues to add to the game itself. But I think that what we see here is, something that I could see easily being expanded upon within the verse, itself.
Dark Knight, I'm glad you said that Galnet was Galaxy Network. For all this time, I thought in EVE Online Galnet was Galente Network.
I don't know.
Yeah, I thought
I
it
have
was just one way.
Yeah. No. Yeah, it really is a nice thing to have something like that. And I knew it was going to happen in Star Citizen, but it's just, it's going to happen on a level that's probably exceeding what I thought it would. So having an in-game news sponsor, or put together by content, creators in the game, using game technology, I think that's just awesome.
So do you think that they will be allowed to do it? Griffin, you're the one who brought up the question, because wouldn't they have to pay or some kind of
well, I'm going down the path that Calrati went down, because I think he came up with an actual game mechanic. I mean, we know we have ships like the Mako, the news van, right?
Yeah.
That's supposed to be designed to record, like you said, if you're out, there's a battle going on or something. Maybe there's some solar event that's taking place, and you're able to go out and record with that ship. But Calrati took it to a different level. He basically said, and I could see, maybe I'm pushing further what he was saying, but who says that they can't create a mission board for being able to provide different types of content and submitting it? And if your stuff is submitted and accepted, maybe you're paid in UEC, in game, and you take those on as missions, and your stuff gets broadcast. Maybe you're covering stuff in a certain system, or like this particular show where it's more of a he's using footage from different areas and stuff and compiling it. But for people who are creating this stuff for the game, I mean, don't get me wrong, it's great to see it on YouTube, but I think it would generate people who are like, he's doing a weekly news show. Some people are making movies all the time, and for them to be able to produce it through the game, to run trailers for their films, it kind of broadens and gives them even more desire to do more than just something that they, I just want to feel like making a quick trailer, you know what I mean?
Right.
But it's actually adding to the verse in their own way, which I think would be great.
All right, yeah, that could work. I mean, if it's in the TOS, then they'd have to.
Well, look at it this way. But look at it this way: it's CIG's material. I mean, using their assets.
Exactly. That's part. I got an MVP. Okay, for people that don't know, I'm sorry to jump in, but
go
for people that don't know, before I was a sole citizen, I was the one who wrote, recorded, edited, wrote the scripts for the People's Radio News of Levski, which predated the Zark media stuff. And so I got an MVP from CIG for one of our reports, and they are totally behind this concept. That's why they have the Reliant Mecha. I think Is they want in the
Yeah.
future for us to be able to do this, especially new shows like this.
But I'm not worried about people like us who want to contribute to the community and CIG and the game and you know, I'm talking about the people who that 1% or that 0.1% who will say they're using my content. I should sue them. I'm worried about those.
No. My
It's not
point
their
is that you
content,
submit.
though.
It's not their content, and
Yeah,
mind
it's
you,
not
you're
the
submitting
CIG.
it. You're submitting
Right.
it, mind you. So
Right.
you can't come up and say, "Well, you're using my content." If you submitted it to the mission board, you know what I mean. And like Jade said, it's their stuff. I mean, no matter what we cut, it's their assets. You know.
Right.
Yeah, that's what I was missing when you're playing that. That made sense to me. So thank you.
Yeah, and if it goes by CIG, like if it has to go through CIG first, that'll avoid, you know, like any issues with TOS or you know, like any kind of stuff that they would have to filter out.
And I gotta say, I do want to see. I hope this Adrift they put out more of this because I wouldn't mind seeing that. I hope it's a real thing and not just a trailer thing.
I agree.
Yeah, same.
Oh, also for just for like you know, new soul here, it would be great to be able to see their music videos in the verse. I'm flying on my 890. I'm kicked back. I look at the screen and there's a new soul video.
Yeah.
We'll have like a MTV or UTV, Universe TV, or something out in space.
No,
Hey.
BT 2951, man.
Soul Citizens in the verse.
The box.
There you go.
The box, man. You got to bring back the box.
Bring back the box. You know, order up 99 cents for that video, that new soul video that just came across.
There you go.
Sitting on the steps at Arc, sitting at Area 18 in a corner. I got these news.
Yeah, I mean, because to jump in here, since you guys mentioned it, that's one of the things that we definitely advocate in this game is because when I saw this video, I'm like, man, this is cool. I mean, it's community driven, you know, and to that question that you asked, you know, would you want it to be CIG or would you want it to be community? I want it to be the community.
Yeah.
Because that makes everybody involved instead of it being them. You know, we become a part of them, you know, and instead of Rockstar, you know, going out and, you know, how the way they do within a radio station in GTA, you know, they pull in, you know, all of those songs and stuff like that and they put it on the radio station. Why not have it community driven like that?
Yeah, that's a good
You
point.
know, and I mean, you have country radio station. You can have an R&B radio station. You can have your oldies radio. I mean, well, it can't be really oldies, but you know, you get what I'm saying.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah.
So, and it to me, that's a big vision of us for me and Pops, and that we hopefully that they will definitely take on and see. So, like Jade said, you know, they are all for it. That yeah, I'm just building up the catalog right now. So,
okay,
I can't wait to sit it with New Soul on the 890.
Hey, Kai, did you want to share something with us?
Both of those videos were fantastic. Awesome content. I love the ability for creative people to use the tools that CIG have given within the universe to expand out and create some new content that everyone can then build upon and enjoy or consume or what have you. If you look at stuff like Benny Henge, you know, that there are times where the community have come up with the thing that has become part of the game. Look at just recently, CIG officially recognized the Daymar rally and put it in the lore of the game itself. And there are so many strong aspects of content that was created by community members that CIG would just be smart to embrace and to take in. Also, CIG has a unique opportunity to use this tech that they have and flex in a way that other games cannot. For example, in Elite, you kind of have a very limited sort of control panel and what you can do. Whereas with Star Citizen, if I were to hop in game right now and I were friends with, Griff and Fastcart, and we were going to work on something together, a mining op or whatever, I can basically FaceTime you in my ship, and I'm looking at the screen and I'm seeing your face, and with that VoIP thing, like I can see you talking, and I could be like, hey, I'm 10 minutes out, I'll meet you, whatever. And I can stream you to any of my screens. If CIG were to create a module on the Spectrum site where a person could submit their content, and then if you were to have, say, a group of volunteer moderators who would first check that content to make sure it wasn't inappropriate or violating TOS in some way, you could have that sort of run by you could have an employee that's basically his job or her job is just to manage the volunteers. The volunteers do the actual combing through, and like each person signs off of it, and I can say, okay, I have watched Soul Citizens Soul Talk episode from August the 5th. I consumed the whole 2 hours. Nothing in there is a violation. I bought a volunteer moderator Kaizen, sign off on it. And you get people that you trust so that you can say, okay, this is cool. We know that that's okay. I think it would be awesome if people could submit their content and it could go on that little screen like the FaceTime thing, so that while I'm mining Quantanium, I can watch Soul Talk. While I'm out, in my 890 jump, just swimming laps in my infinity pool, I can also be listening to Readcast or the latest of Space Tomato or Morphologist or this one or that one. And they could even go one step further and incorporate their PayPal tech that they have, where you can just send money. At the end of the episode, when I listened to 2 hours of great Soul Talk, there could be 3 buttons that are right there on the bottom of the screen that says, click next, or donate, pay, donate, whatever, 1,000 AUEC, because it's like, oh, that was a good episode, or then a custom amount, so that I could literally say, I liked your content. It was enjoyable while I was flying around rescuing people or hunting people, bounty hunters, or doing whatever. And also, here's some game cash. Enjoy yourself. Thanks. I just want to support the project.
I just want to say, such good taste. 890 and Infinity Pool. You can come on the show anytime. You can come on the show anytime. Come on the show anytime.
I love the fact that you said AUEC.
Oh yeah, let me get GoMab in real quick because I know he's late and usually he has to duck out. GoMab, you still hanging out?
I'm in here. I'm hanging out of here.
Okay.
I'm triple tasking over here.
You got any thoughts about any of that?
Yeah, no, I think that's cool. I mean, I think that's one of the hallmarks of this whole community is the content that people make, right? This game, it has a good amount of content and gameplay, but not a whole lot, right? It's still in alpha, and they're still working out a lot of the back end systems and stuff, and they give you just enough to keep you busy. What's different about this game versus any other game that's out there is the fact that the community comes together and basically creates the world, creates the gameplay for everyone, right? So the newscast just being just a part of it, and CIG having the forethought to put in some of the tools and mechanisms in order to possibly monetize that as a career path. I think it's just one more thing that sets this project apart from any others that you may even think about trying to compare it to.
Well, I'm going to give it to my brother Zeke. He must have 1,000 lights on his face because he got that VoIP working on the dime. So.
Right?
You don't have enough light. If you don't got enough light, you aren't going to get that. But it's great to see that he's able to pull it off in a decent way. It's not completely 100% there, but it's much better than it was when it first started. He does very well with that. So, no, it's very cool. Thank you guys for the comments on that. Hopefully, like Fizz said, that we'll see. And obviously we know CIG is going to put out stuff because that will help drive certain gameplay and events and things, but to also know that if it's just as even more based on the backers providing that information, something happens in a system, that one of us is the ones that informs everybody else. Hey, this just happened here, a wormhole, appeared somewhere, in an area, and it gets broadcast, right? Wow. Imagine the response to that when that pops up on everybody's monitor or screen, when they're checking out the news, and what would happen in games. A lot of promise to what they could do with this stuff. A lot of promise.
And apologies, and they can, put a lot of tools. I mean, they do have a lot of camera tools in here that's already there, but like to go back to GTA, what they did was, I remember in 5, they put a camera mode in there because they knew that people were making cinematic gameplay in there. And just
don't forget the Mako. That's what the Mako's for. Have you ever flown the Mako? I mean, it's got the camera in it.
I never have.
Oh, dude, it has a whole setup, like a station for your cameraman to work in that ship.
Right. And just like we said, you showed me the video of the gentleman who we saw who does content off of GTA, and a lot of that stuff, and that's what I see the potential in this game. I mean, even more, than GTA. So to me, the sky is the limit. Well, space is the limit. Universe, whatever you want to call it. I don't know.
That's good. That's good.
All right. So
All righty. Yeah, let's go ahead and hit the final. Let's hit the final thing. Yeah. This isn't actually a machinima this time around, gang. Jade is always keeping me in line on what's cinematics versus machinima, and so this one is more of a cinematic. But the reason why we're looking at this one in particular, and hopefully we didn't watch this in the past. I had to go back and see did I ever show this one because it's an older one, but because we just saw that the Vulture was being worked on, I figured that we would maybe highlight the Granddaddy salvage ship that we have in game. And in this one, I don't know how many people in this room fly big ships, but let's run this one, and I think you guys will like it.
All right.
Wow.
Who wants to go first on that one?
It's not even a combat ship, and that feeling of intimidation never ceases to amaze me,
Mm-hmm.
especially when it's landed.
Yeah, I just want to say, like, I always love watching the reclaiming land. I don't think I'll ever get tired of watching that thing land.
You can
We know
tell
when
who
this
made
came
this
out.
loved this ship. You can tell they absolutely love this ship.
Mm-hmm.
Gone?
When did this come out?
2018.
December 5th,
2018.
2018.
I was gonna say it seemed like a while ago. Yeah.
I mean,
People don't give it the love like all the newer ships are getting and all that stuff, like the Carrack and the 890. This is the first, giant ship that first came out with this size, and it was like
the Starfarer came out before. I don't know if this.
Nah, it ain't as big as a reclaimer.
All right, my bad.
I just want to say, like, what Black Sky Legion was saying about the chest burster incident. I'm like, this is the one ship I think
Yeah, that
it
made me
would be a
laugh.
requirement to work to have like a flamethrower in my inventory if I was going to work on this ship.
Oh hell yeah. Hell yeah.
Yes, CIG definitely shared their influences from Alien with this ship. They even when there's the commercial trailer they have for it, they even shot it as if it was on the same scene from Alien, which was amazing. But every time I see this ship, the amount of detail in it is just incredible. The moving parts, it's not like their moving parts are just there to be there, but they have function. The shock absorbers on the ship, like Fastcard said, when this thing lands, it's amazing to watch it land. But I don't know. I guess my question to you guys is, how do you guys feel about ships like that are this big? Or do you love flying these type of ships? Are they intimidating to fly them? What are your thoughts?
She is a big tortoise, and she moves just like one. But I'm about to say to the video, good job on making this tortoise look good.
I feel like when you ask like people, hey, what's it like flying a ship like this? Is it intimidating? Whatever. I don't think any of us really know, because like what we see right now in the alpha is like you see people like a one guy flying around in a a C2 or whatever. This is all sort of make believe land. Like when the game launches for realsies, or maybe even when it gets to a beta phase or or an omega, some kind of whatever, we're gonna see what it's like to really fly these ships when you're flying them with 9 people, 6 people, 12 people. That's what it's gonna really. And when you're like looking around right now, everything is just make believe. You could fly it into the side of a mountain, and who cares? And okay, I'll just log out. I'll claim it. And I got to wait an hour and a half for it to come back. Cool. I'm gonna go watch a movie. I'll come back after an episode of The Expanse. Like,
yes,
it's gonna be a whole different world flying this ship
Delta Loda.
when it's for real.
Yeah.
Delta Loda.
Yeah, definitely. And again, the reason why I said that, and just so you'll know, like one of our team members, Gigi, you couldn't put her behind the steering wheel of this thing, even in this state.
She'll be happy to ride on it, though. She'll be happy to ride on it, but not fly it.
I find big ships easier to fly, to be honest with you. And that's just me, because I love the whole thing of you have to be thinking way ahead when you're moving them, landing the whole 9 yards. But to your point, Kai, once you've got a crew where you're dependent upon other people, where you're not that one person who can do everything, but now you're assigning roles and you're counting on people to do things, whether it's scanning, whether it's calling for landing clearance, whatever it may be, it is going to change the dynamic of how we ships. And then the risk when we take these ships out, we've talked about that before. When you take these ships out, what's the risk of taking them out? So, but I thought that the person who shot this did a great job with highlighting and showcasing the ship.
With the small and the up to somewhere in the medium ship line, you're flying basically space planes. You're flying craft that act like planes. When you get to these big boys, you are driving a ship, and you have to think of it that way. You have to literally plan your moves and understand that. And I'm going to say one last thing, that I'm going to shut up and let everybody else have their go. Just seeing this film, this video, legitimately, had that popped up 10 years ago, there's 0% chance you could have convinced me that this was a video game. You're talking about what you're seeing there when you see this thing land is the start of some kind of really awesome Japanese anime. You're not, it's like, so we're so spoiled that this is a reality.
Yeah.
Like, I just want to say thank you to everything, what universe, God, whatever you believe in, that I'm living in a time where space nerds get a chance to actually sort of play with this stuff.
May you live,
fly,
may
we
you
can
live
fly.
in interesting times.
Yeah, we can fly what we've been watching on screen for years, right?
Mm-hmm. So I
Yeah,
just want to
remember,
jump in
this
here.
is, like I
We
said,
talked about
this is, I'm sorry, like I said, this is December
I just-
20, December 5th, 2018. Go ahead.
All right. I was just gonna say, because he mentioned anime, and I got left out of the news portion of the program tonight, but it's okay because I was doing something else.
Oh, sorry about that, buddy.
No problem. But regarding with the MSR commercial, the storyline with those two girls.
Yeah.
I think they should make an anime like for Adult Swim, or bring back Saturday morning cartoons using Star Citizen. Because the stuff they can make is just out of this world.
You want the reunion as a cartoon? Or just
And
anime?
Fast Car can be a cartoon, yes.
Yeah, there you go.
I think it'd be more than likely someone from the community will get together and make something reunion like as a cinema.
I just think that the drive, they're gonna make a lot of noise anyways, especially when 42 comes out. But if they have what, $40 million in marketing, I'm like, they could literally make toys. I mean, you have these people making the 3D model kits, but they could literally put out an anime or something like that, and then license out to Hasbro to make out ships and stuff like that.
Well, the problem with making an anime a cartoon specifically, it'll take 2 years before it comes out, because you have to do the voices, then you have to animate it, and then post-production. So because I followed the production for Masters of the Universe, the new one that came out on Netflix. That was 2 years, so it's gonna take a while.
Well, if they have you at the helm, we can do it in like 1.5.
Just license it to a studio. I don't want CIG making movies. I would like them to make the game. So if you're going to do this, if anybody from CIG is happens to listen to this, please just license your content to a movie or animation studio so they can do it. And then you can also
don't let Chris
license your
Roberts hear
food
this,
to,
because he'll be like, "Oh, that's a great idea."
Yeah.
Toho animation,
License your
please.
food to food carts for CitizenCon.
Well, remember this. There was a game called Wing Commander, and soon there was a movie called Wing Commander.
I would prefer the anime over a movie like that, please.
That's all I'm gonna say. That's all I'm gonna say, right?
So the question becomes, who do you want to write the anime and direct the anime?
Toho Animation.
Alternatively, they could go the super lazy route and say, here's what we're gonna do. Film it all in the game using assets, write your own story, do the whole stuff, submit it for a contest, winner gets a javelin, and then just watch the entire community make 100 movies and
Hire
do
them
nothing
like they
but
did
put them
with
up.
Torellian and Alex.
That's true. That's true.
You win, you get a
Good
job. If you want
idea,
it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Pops, if you don't mind me asking, Pops is into the tow truck things and all that. What did you think of this reclaimer video?
The detail, and it just looks like a big giant lotus. And it's like Karate said, it's scary, it's spooky, it's big, and it's dirty.
Right.
Yeah.
I just wanted to have a little brother, with a hook up to it. So like Dad said, repo people's ships.
That's what the drone is for, I think.
They have the SRV. Are they supposed to make like a capital size SRV?
They never really said if originally the Crucible was supposed to have a smaller ship that went along with it, and they nixed it when they came up with the SRV. But they, right now the Vulture, it's only 2 ships for salvage technically. There's only the Vulture and this one, so they may come up with a mid-grade version.
Yeah, they have some room.
How do you tow? I mean, you have to have a means to tow a capital size ship if you're gonna you know, they
Well,
say
they
that
use
the
multiple
Bango.
multiple
You use
SRVs
multiple,
for
I was
that.
gonna
multiple
say,
SRVs.
yeah, I was
Multiple
gonna say those are like
SRVs.
tow trucks,
20 of
basically,
them.
or tug.
They even talked about using the SRVs to help assist ships leaving atmosphere if necessary
Right.
at one point. So yeah,
Yeah.
that's another career job that some folks will be able to do, or working with their org if they find a ship that's in the atmosphere that's, or gravity that's too much because of weight or
Mhm.
cargo or whatever.
Isn't that what the Argos were built for? Is like basically tugboats?
Well, that, and they also, they do work as tow trucks, because
Yeah.
on the original premiere you see it actually towing a Drake ship, a Cutlass, but they also
They
in
had to
their
be Drake.
pamphlets show it moving cargo as well, cargo
Okay.
containers
Mhm.
as well.
From
So it
the
has
station to the
multi-functions.
surface.
Hmm.
Okay.
I mean, but it had to be Drake that was towing. It couldn't be an origin. It couldn't be an origin ship, right?
Come on now, they burn up ships every week on ISC. Isn't that enough?
Why are they burning up my 600?
I told you why, because it's the highest quality ship that's out there, so
Yep.
they want to make sure that the fire works. That's all.
And rework.
And remember that it was 30 minutes and it still wasn't burnt up. If that was a Drake,
True.
45
If it was a
seconds,
Drake,
poof.
it would have been gone in 5.
All that glue would have melted real quick. Wouldn't it?
No,
The
the glue would have been flammable.
Well, thanks guys for
Oh,
the comments. Did
man.
everybody get a chance to throw in on that video? I think everybody did, right? Go Mab, did you have any thoughts on it? The design on that video? Did you like it?
Yeah. I didn't get the comment, but I liked the idea of the ship. I mean, I don't think that'll be something that I'll ever be jumping into flying. Me personally, as far as like the big multi-crew ships, I'd rather jump in somebody else's than to own one myself. And then I don't want to have to go through the rigmarole of trying to crew it.
Yeah.
To get it done. But I do enjoy it. Like, I don't know, were you with me that one time where like we were coming off of, we were on the ship to station docking, and there was a reclaimer right outside of the docking arm, and the sounds that were coming off of that thing while it was switching back and forth in VTOL, man. They really spent a lot of effort, put a lot of intricate, detail into every aspect of that ship. And you guys were saying how much you like to see it land. Well, then, if you want to see it take off, go grab a sandwich, because you're going to be there for a minute.
Oh, I did that from Area 18.
Depends on the planet or moon that you're on, but yeah, you make a good
anything
point.
with any real gravity, it's just like
They're gonna have to make those thrusters bigger for those 2G planets.
Oh, definitely.
Also,
No,
I just
don't
want
even
to say real
land
quick,
there. Go ahead.
Yeah, go ahead, Jay.
pro tip for cinematic makers: always edit to the beat. That video is amazing because it's editing to the beat.
On the beat.
Yep,
On the beat.
exactly.
That's what makes it.
Yeah.
Definitely
the
not
other
on
thing-
the one.
Yeah, the other thing I was going to say too is I always see this ship as being kind of similar to the Orion. I don't see it as being that ship that you're, necessarily in and out every, 30 minutes or whatever. But when you go out with this thing, you're going out to do some real work and spending some time. And I think, to GoMap's point, it is a bit specialized, just like the Orion is specialized. There are people who are going to have a heart for doing salvage. Some of us remember in Eve used to do salvage. That's what they did. They couldn't wait for a battle to take place. So they go out there and scrap up and pull ships and everything. And they're going to be people who are going to spend time on a ship like this. They're going to go out in space and hang out for a while, and they're going to come back with a big load of materials and stuff. So I can't wait to see it operate. I'm looking forward to this whole salvage and repair thing in the game.
Yeah, I think one of the things I'm
How long
going
do
to
you think
end
a
up
while
doing
would
in
be?
the game is actually running supplies to these ships that are out doing these jobs, right?
The deep space
Something
stuff.
I got it. I could, or something that can get to you quickly, run some supplies to you and run back and sleep in my own bed. I'm not,
Yeah.
you know,
Because they're going to be those jobs for even something as simple as fuel, right?
Right.
They're not going to have to come in for fuel, but they will call for somebody to deliver fuel.
food or
Food, supplies, yeah.
supplies, any kind of supplies, or hey,
Mhm.
we damaged our spacesuits. Can
Mhm.
come and grab some more? Or we need some weapons or ammo, or there's I imagine a mark.
So do you guys think you'd be out there in this ship? We'll say this ship for like a month or longer? if you can able to resupply it and stuff like that.
It's up to the players. I mean, what's home for people who do these type of jobs? I mean, it's no different than the people who go out and, a shipping boat, and they go out and they're away from their families for a while, and they come back with their, they've got a certain level of load that they want to bring in to be profitable. You're not going to go out and do small loads with this ship. This is like when you go out with the Orion, same type of thing. It's going to take time. I think just the time dynamic, unless you just happen to hit a big haul and you could just fill up your ship quickly and head on in. But they're going to be searching for stuff. They're going to be looking for data and buying data and information. And to me, I could see it being a ship that you're out in space for a while. But then again, some people might just spend a few hours and come back in.
But think about it. The capital ships should literally take a month to salvage, right? You should not be able to go out there for a few and alpha, Javelin, or whatever. It literally should take a month or more
strip it down.
To strip it completely. Because think about
components,
the wrecks. Think about the wrecks that you see that are like on the planet surface. I mean, they have little settlements that have that have sprouted up in their shadows, right? That are of people that are salvaging those things. So it's that kind of ship is going to be like all type thing where you're salvaging until you your whole. You may go drop it off and come right back in order to complete the job.
Did some of you guys play the game Shipbreaker?
No.
Or have you seen it?
I've seen it.
When you get a chance, check out Shipbreaker, because Shipbreaker does exactly what GoMab was saying. You take apart, you get an assignment as a salvager to go out and find these wrecks and break them down. And it's a system of doing it. It's not just going up to the ship and just start cutting away. There are valuable components. There are things like that you have to retrieve from the ship in order to make the most profitability. Now, you could go up there and just start slicing, but you're not going to make as much money. So like GoMab said, to be able to say when you reach this big salvage, first thing is you may end up using drones to check things to make sure it's safe. The next thing you may do is go in EVA and start looking for components and start pulling things like that from the ship. Then somebody's going to know on a ship certain materials, what's the best things to take, what's the junk to leave behind. How do you prioritize that? So it will be an operation, if you want to be profitable. I could see them making it, because we see how intricate mining is. You can go out and blow up rocks all you want, come back with a bunch of inert. You're full, but what was your profit, right? But if you spend time out in the minefield and you look particularly for certain items, you come back making a good profit. And I think salvaging could very easily be the same thing.
To go back point before about making a ship like this their home. I mean, I can see people definitely making a ship like this their home, because for everyone who like their luxury ship, like an 890, want to make that their home. Some people feel more comfortable in an industrial ship.
Yeah.
Orion. That's my home.
Yep.
Exactly.
I'll live in my Starliner.
Let me give a quick shout out to Stompy, MWC, Zawades, and Nightshade. Thank you all so much for the follows tonight. We appreciate you. No one think we missed you, but thank you all.
I have a question.
Go ahead.
Oh, I'm sorry. Go ahead, Fast Car.
No, I was just going to move on, but go ahead.
Oh, no, I didn't want to hold anything up. But
you get the last question, Pops. Go ahead.
Well, I did want to take a step backwards a little bit to refueling, because I meant to ask it during that. But now you guys said you can the refueling is only for hydrogen, right?
No.
It's going to be quantum?
No.
Fuel? No. No.
One of the issues was in the early days,
Okay.
people just made an assumption that quantanium was going to be gaseous. That was an assumption by a lot of folks in the community, because when we heard about the Starfarer and we heard refueling, there was just an automatic association that it was going to be gas, right? And then later on, we found out that quantanium was not necessarily gaseous. And I'm not saying that they're not going to put it in the game in some form, but as far as we know of, it's not gaseous. And so what we do know is that it has if you notice how the Starfarer is designed, the front of it has this grill that brings in gases.
Right.
Those gases can be processed. So whether they be hydrogen or anything else, Jade was talking about going on planets that may have different types of atmospheres. The fact is that the ship is supposed to be able to process gases, and it can be used as it has a refinery on board of it, so it can refine. It also can carry other things. It can carry water, for example. Maybe you've got someplace that needs water, something as simple as H2O, or some other, chemical, whatever it is. But it has multiple uses in what it can carry. But as far as processing goes, it processes gases.
Yeah, because my question is, you're in a Javelin and you're way out in Pyro. There's no quantum fuel out there. How do you get that thing back if you run out of quantum fuel? You can't refuel it somewhere.
Well, let me ask you this. When you get in your car, do you drive out into the desert and just not pay attention to your fuel?
Well, I'm just saying,
I get your point. No.
I was just wondering.
No. Trust me, the people who pay $3,000 for a Javelin are going to be watching the gas gauge, just like the people who bought an 890 in an Endeavor. I get your point. I think that the fact that they're designing a game so that when that does happen, let's say that occasionally something weird happens, right, where you do run out. That's what you've got these other players, and you're going to be able to drop beacons or say, I need somebody to come out here. And how much are you willing to pay for me to come out there and get you pops? You 12 systems out. How much time is it going to take me to get to you? I mean, that's the logistics side of the game. Maybe that Javelin has starfarers that are traveling with it for just such an occasion, right?
Yeah, that's like I said.
Yeah, fuel
I'm
rats,
charging.
right?
I'm charging double for anybody named Fast Card. So
okay, so what I gotta do? I gotta make sure that on my M2, I carry some gas with me. Get some
gas cans in the back.
Yeah,
sitting in the trunk.
On that note, let's wrap it up. On that note.
All right, so on Sunday, please join us, 8 p.m. Eastern, midnight UTC. We're having a night with relay, an evening with relay. We're going to have Shiver, Bathory, Eric, or David Alagolia, and Eric, who's also known as Nakar, and maybe some others who may show up and drop in, but we're expecting at least those three. So it should be an interesting night down memory lane. I already put in some pictures into the discussion topic. I don't know if Griffin looked at it yet, but it should be an interesting night. So I'm looking forward to it. They were one of the first group that I started watching when I got into Star Citizen back in 2015. I back in 2014, but when I started watching content, they were one of the first groups with INN. So I'm looking forward to it. How about you, Griff?
Yeah, definitely. Looking forward to those guys. A lot of us who've been in the game for a while, INN's relay guys. These are some of the first guys streaming news in the verse, and they've been around a long time, and we're really excited about having those guys on.
All right. So don't forget to follow us on social media. We're on YouTube, Twitter, Instagram, and don't forget to follow us on if you're on just for the audio part. We're on iTunes and SoundCloud too. We have merch. I'm not wearing a shirt at the moment, but we have T-shirts, game pads, and mugs. Check the link down below on Twitch. If you want to follow me, I'm FastCard, twitter.com/fast_card. I'll be on Paul Shelley on Saturday to plug our Bar Citizen on. And I almost forgot the Bar Citizen. Getting ahead of myself, but we're having a Bar Citizen on August 14th. 3 p.m. Eastern, 7 p.m. UTC. I'll put the information in Twitch chat real quick. Everyone is welcome. It's calling it an international virtual Bar Citizen. So if you're in UK, Europe, or wherever you are in the world, just come join us and hang out and have fun. You don't, even though it's Zoom, you don't need video to participate. You can just hang out, not say anything, and not be seen. So that'd be cool.
We would love to see you, though. We would love to see you. That's the point. Yes, we do want to see you.
Yeah, but there's no pressure, though. There's not too much pressure. What I was going to say. Yesterday on Yacht Club, we had like 30 registrants. And I think we went up to 39, so spaces are filling up, but we still have a few more spaces to go. If you want to register, you're thinking about coming, go ahead and register. The sooner the better, so we know how many people to expect.
Last one was lit.
Go ahead.
I was just saying, yeah, if you haven't signed up yet, there is limited space available, and the last one was lit, so you definitely want to sign up if you didn't make it last time.
Be ready. Clear your schedule.
She can say lit. I'm too old to use that language now.
At least you
I
recognize
know,
that.
Nate,
At least you recognize that.
Right, Black?
Yeah, we have to say somebody made that lit.
You're too old for that, too.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's gonna be a
Somebody.
fun show. I hope you all
Guys.
show up. If you can get there, thank you.
Well, guys, thank you all for hanging out with us tonight. Pops in Space, Kelroddy, Jade, GoMap, Fist to Face, Dark Knight, Admiral Kusanagi. Thank all of you. You guys always are here every week. Really want to say a special thanks to Kai Zen, who hung out with us tonight. Kai, we
Yeah,
got to have
thank
you
you,
on
Kai.
board for a
Yeah.
Sunday show. We would love to have you come on and share some more with us. We
Anytime.
appreciate what you guys are doing over there with Elite Week and, of course, hanging out with us. We really do appreciate it.
Yes.
Are
Thank
there
you so much.
questions?
All right. So who are we rating?
We are
Oh,
rating our
question.
good friend, Astropub.
Ooh, Actopop. So
All
send
right.
my love. And don't forget peace, love, and soul.